Filmst du das?
Ja.
Beste am einfachsten wäre es, alle fotografieren, alle singen.
Yeah. We're very proud of our new album. We think it's one of our best albums that we've made, and I think the good thing is we've actually had a very enjoyable time making the album. In fact, it's been a very enjoyable time over the last 3 or 4 years since the singles tour and making of Exciter. So we're actually very pleased to go on tour, and we're very pleased to be in Germany again to announce a world tour. So if anyone's got any questions, please. Okay, see you then.
Can you tell us something about your new songs in your own words, please?
I think it's quite different sounding. We worked with a different producer for the first time, someone called Mark Bell, who's probably most famous for the work he's done over the last couple of records with Bjork. So I think he's really added something different to our sound. And there's about 13 tracks on the album, 11 songs, 2 short instrumental pieces.
What did Mark Bell add to your record in relation to all producers you work with?
I think I really felt this time it was more like a collaboration, really, because he was far more hands-on. He wasn't really a conceptualist. He would actually physically go to samplers, go to synths and work on sounds and add to the demos. I mean, he was really important like that.
One of you said in the interview that you worked on the vocals as well as on an instrument. How did you work on the vocals?
Well, Mark, sees the voice as just another instrument, and he just, was very encouraging with me to sort of just sing as I wanted to, and not to try too hard. And also, right early on, he told me that with Bjork, she continually sings throughout the making of the album, rather than like you put all the song together and then the final thing you put the vocals on top. I was basically singing from sort of day one, and I would work in a different room to the guys and just keep singing, and like I was rehearsing the songs like for a tour or something. So it enabled me to like find a place that was somehow a little bit deeper than before, and to relax and stop trying so hard. So on some tracks that really worked. Sorry?
For example?
For me, the sort of more personal sort of stuff, like When the Body Speaks, and Good Night Lovers, I like that, and also to sort of I had fun doing Dead of Night, and sort of drawing on all my influences, whether it's like David Bowie or Iggy Pop or Dave Garn too.
Question to Mr. Gore. Where do you get the inspiration, and could you describe the process of making the songs?
Well, at demo stage. At the demo stage, you mean?
Wenn sie schreibt. Also,
where do you get the inspiration for the songs?
And I know you write about things that go on around me, so I think the majority of my songs are about relationships really, and about love and lust, because they're the things that I can feel I can write about with any sort of integrity these days. You know, so a lot of the songs on this album are love songs, but I still like to think that they have a bit more depth to them than that. But they're, you know, somehow touching on other themes, just you know, that they do have some depth to them. Yeah.
You're on the stage.
If you could please, when you ask your questions, could you please ask them a bit louder so that the rest of the room also gets the questions? That would be nice. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
What do you think about the Netzer thing? The Exciter is now available on Netzer. What do you think about it?
We've had this question a lot in America and in Europe over the last few weeks, and it's quite interesting really, because I think in some ways Napster is actually fulfilling a role, filling a void that wasn't there before. And with radio stations playing a limited number of songs, and record shops even these days not stocking many records, it's the only way that some kids can actually access new music, or music of artists that they can't get hold of or hear. And obviously the copyright situation has to be solved, and also for us it's slightly disappointing that our album's been leaked on the Napster, because we come from a generation where, you know, the first day of release we'd run down to our local record shop and buy our favourite artist, and it's a slight disappointment, the fact that already the album's been out two months beforehand, you know, even the sleeve, the lyrics. But I think we just got to get used to the fact that the world has changed, and it's going to change a lot more.
Can I just add something to
Yeah.
that? And also my quote is, you know, it's not actually mine, I nicked it, but if you're not being bootlegged, you're not happening. So,
Will the new album Exciter be more uplifting than Ultra, which was quite gloomy?
I don't know, what do you think?
I think we actually think all our albums are gloomy. You know, I think they deal with some darker issues, but we find it very uplifting, and we find this one more uplifting than Ultra. We didn't find Ultra that gloomy.
And we really like having a positive title with Ultra, because we do have this misconception that we're gloomy, and we wanted to carry on with that this time with Exciter, to try and like make the world believe we're not gloomy.
As you're planning this world tour, do you think this material is easy to reproduce on stage?
Well, we haven't started rehearsing yet, but you know, we'll probably do 5 or 6 songs from the new album, and we won't really find that out until we start rehearsing. But I don't think so. You know, I think some of the sort of quieter, more intimate stuff might be interesting to try. You know, doesn't necessarily have to be exactly as it is on the album. You know, maybe we'll try some different things, breaking it down even more. For instance, when Martin sings, you know, maybe he'll do something more acoustic with the songs that he chooses, and maybe we'll do that together with other things as well. Like, for instance, When the Body Speaks, when we recorded that, initially, the first sort of atmosphere that was set for the album was basically Martin playing guitar and me singing, and Mark got us to perform that in the studio, and there was some magic there happening, and we built the atmosphere around that, and I think that could work as well live.
Can you tell what was the most exciting thing for you working on that album?
This is only me speaking. For me, the most exciting thing was actually the three of us and the other people in the studio actually enjoying ourselves, and it seemed a bit like, you know, 1982, 83 again, you know, the sort of enjoyment level, and it has really good memories for me. I mean, I know that's not an actual thing about the music and stuff, but that's what I found most rewarding.
I think it was really an adventure as well, because we travelled round to 3 different places to make it. You know, we were over in California for a while, we were in New York for a while, and we were in London for a while. And it just, you know, it's just interesting just to move around different places and get different influences coming in. It just made it more fun, really.
Who are the musicians you work with on tour? The same guys on the last tour?
Yeah.
What can we expect? Sort of live shows, special things on the tour?
Okay. Well, yeah, we're working with the same musicians. We basically have the same band, and which is good because we really enjoyed that on the singles tour. It was kind of it was like new life in older songs as well. It was kind of different performing those songs. Anton Corbin is involved in the set and lighting design, as he was on the last tour and on the Songs of Faith and Devotion tour. And he's already formulated some ideas. There will be some film, and we haven't seen anything finished or completed yet, but we're working on that at the moment. So.
How do you decide which songs to play on tour?
I think we're starting to get
bag. We quite
it's quite difficult, you know.
You can play all of them. Also.
Well, we've been playing for like 12 hours or something.
We've got a list of, we asked New Records to send us a list of all our songs, you know, so we could go through and tick them off, you know, which ones. And we had like a vote, so it was a bit like the Eurovision Song Contest between the three of us. And unfortunately, they gave us a list of 190 songs, you know, and it's, we had to whittle that down to about 18 or 19, so it's unfortunately a lot of fans' favourites have been kicked out, and a lot of our favourites have been kicked out as well, because we just can't play for that long.
So it will be different to the singles tour because, you know, there are certain songs that just kind of won't fit, that when you're performing them with the new atmospheres and stuff, it kind of feels a bit phony. It's not that we don't like those songs or anything, it just doesn't feel right anymore. But I think we're going back as far as Music for the Masses, probably.
Black Celebration, I believe.
Yeah. Black Celebration? Yeah, Black Celebration. Okay, so we're going quite far back.
No, speak and spell.
No, that's taking it too far.
About the writing process, does Martin think about Dave will sing the songs, so that do you write personally about yourself or about sometimes Dave Gans, what you would think about or what you feel about some things?
I really find that journalists really get hung up on the fact that I write the songs and Dave sings them. I get asked this question all the time, and I write for me, you know. When I do the demos, I always sing them, and then, you know, it's just natural for Dave to then, when we get to the studio, to take on the songs that suit his voice, and really it's as simple as that.
Could you answer that?
I think, you know, for me when I'm singing Martin songs as well, I don't sit down and try and analyse the lyrics or I don't try and think about too much where it come from for Martin. I do in some way think that you know, there's some kind of, he's like my soul brother somehow, and you know, I do really believe that there's a sort of higher purpose to us working together. But you know, I like the idea that as well, the same as Martin does as well. I think that, you know, it's what it makes you feel like, and I think that's why our appeal has lasted so long as well. It's, you know, I try and portray in my voice what it's doing to me emotionally, and to the best of my ability, complement that, but leave it open as well, so that you can really have your own feelings about it. You know, it's not necessarily exactly what the lyrics are telling you, or you know, love is a very wide spectrum, and you know, it can be a rough journey, and it can be a beautiful journey, but it's everything. It's all those things.
So the voice you're using on the song comes distinctly, or about the music, or about the lyrics? You're changing your voice on any song in fact?
No, it's not particularly about any of those things. It's just I try and find something from within me that feels comfortable, and when I find that, I don't question it too much. It just feels right. And usually, what would happen is once I got to that place with the song, I would then get very excited and burn a CD of it and take it into Martin and Fletch and
Put it on that stuff.
you know, test it out, see if the fans like it. You know, and then they would, you know, put my voice into the work that they're doing, and you know, sometimes, you know, then we would see, you know, whether it was good or not, you know, if it was working.
How did you like the Rammstein version of Let Me See You Stripped Down to the Bone?
It's called Stripped. It was good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I mean, the whole of that album was, you know, it was just an honour for us to hear all those different bands recording our songs. You know, but that one was quite good. And there were quite a few others that were, you know, good in different ways.
Any questions on foot and mouth?
I had one yesterday.
You seem to enjoy yourself today, so are you not on the edge anymore?
Could you speak up a little?
You seem to enjoy yourself today, band. Are you not on the edge anymore?
I think we're
On the edge.
It's a learning process. You know, you're never off the edge.
We can go to the edge, but it's important not to jump off.
After being around for 20 years, do you sometimes wonder why do people still like your music, still follow you, still like hardcore fans around? It's odd, isn't it?
You know, it doesn't. It's, you know, we try and put everything we have into what we're doing at the time, and you know, I think people pick up on that. I think it's very human what we do, and it's, you know, it feels real. You know, it feels vulnerable. It feels, you know, it feels like life. So, you know, I think that's got something to do with it. I think people relate to that.
I think
As we get older, I'm sorry.
I just think, you know, I've been saying recently, it does seem like one big long dream, and I think perhaps one of the reasons we are still around, because it was never our game plan in the beginning, you know, to be in Hamburg at a press conference in the year 2001, you know, with a new tour and a new record. But I think we've taken that sort of attitude right from the beginning, and somehow we've done it. It is like a bit of a dream. You think I'm going to wake up, I'm on the train to go to work, you know. But
As we get older, you know, we haven't been in the limelight now for 2.5 years since the last tour, and I find it stranger every single time we put a record out, and you know, wherever we go, we're followed by these obsessive fans. I mean, they are so obsessive, and it's, you know, a real sort of compliment. But I don't know, as you get older, I know at 60, I wonder if they'll still be there. Because they're not much younger than us. So we have grannies following us.
We do. In the hotel, there's a couple of fans that have their baby with them, and there was another couple of fans that told me that they wanted to come, and they had children, and their children are at home with babysitters and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's like this little baby was already wearing black. It's a bit worrying.
also, someone asked us, me and Martin the other day, said, will you be making another 10 albums? And we worked it out, our current rate would be 85. Then someone, our record boss in France said that he's got an artist at the moment that's 82 that's really popular at the moment, so perhaps you never know. The Zimmer Frame tour.
Even though you know that you still have many fans, is it still exciting to produce a record in the sense that you don't really know how people are going to react?
Yes. Yeah, it still feels, you know, for me personally, even more so than ever before, that like, you know, we're just beginning again or something. I don't know, it's just, you know, still just as sort of anxious, and this period especially is quite hard because we've finished, and you know, like Fletch said, we're really happy with the work that we've done, and we know we've done our best where we are right now. And so we're kind of in limbo at the moment before we start a tour and stuff like that. But
the record's already released.
But yeah, the record's already out. So.
The first single will be Dream On. So what are the dreams you still have?
Actually, I had a nightmare last night. The honest truth, I had this nightmare where I died 7 times. So I think that was indicative of what I'm about to come to today. But I mean, it was a terrible nightmare. So that's the sort of dreams I had. I know you didn't mean that, but you know.
What dreams do we have? I don't know. I think maybe one of the reasons we're still around is we never really had dreams and ambitions as a band. Yeah, our greatest goal when we first started was to release one single, you know, and we're still here 20 years later.
And personal things you still want to achieve? Because I guess music-wise you've achieved everything you can.
I don't think so. I think that you know, it's only stops when you want it to. You know, I think if we start to rely or to expect things to happen for us, then they probably won't. And you know, we still have that enthusiasm to work together. And what I learned on this album was that there's still a common bond. That there's something that happens that's much bigger than any of us individually. When there's certain times in the studio when we're working and when we're performing that I feel that it's not really about anyone individually. It's just something that happens. So you know, while you still feel like doing that, you know, why not carry on? But you know, we've finished this album now, and we never, you know, we're not like thinking about what we're doing next. You know.
The video for the first single, you worked together with French director Valentino. Who had come up with the idea? Like, how did it work out?
We went through, you know, hundreds of show reels, and he was about the most consistent director that whose show reel we saw. Really, it was as simple as that.
How did it work out?
We haven't actually seen the finished result yet because he does a lot of stuff in post-production. But the shooting went well, and he was very pleased with it. But he didn't even want to show us stuff until it's finished because we won't get the right effect from it.
But it's a very mysterious kind of video, as far as I know.
You've seen it?
No.
Oh, if we could see it.
Well, that's of course.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know.
It's his, you know, when he first heard the song, he didn't have any lyrics or anything like that, and so again he just picked up on the feeling and what it made him feel like, and so there's kind of a lot of driving around in his car, and it was cheaper. It was cheaper, yeah, to use his car. And you know, it is like when you're driving around and you're having lots of, for me anyway, when I drive around, lots of thoughts come, and quite often you're driving for a long time and then you suddenly remember that you're driving and you're supposed to be looking at the road, you know, and your imagination goes off, and so it's kind of like, it's about that.
There are a lot of depeche mode cult parties. What are you thinking about that?
Depeche Mode keg parties?
I think it's causing Marek Lieberberg more worried than us, because he drives around Germany and he suddenly sees these posters up Depeche Mode. He thinks we're doing a concert without him knowing.
They have their own concerts without us, you know, so I don't know, it's good.
Again, I think it's down to the fact that, you know, we're not played incessantly on the radio, we're not played incessantly. I think it's the only way they can really hear depeche mode music a lot by creating their own parties and things like that. I think it's to do with that.
Yeah, music has never really fit in with current trends. We with things have come and gone over the 20 years, and we always seem to be sort of the oddball band. And I think a lot of radio and stuff do still have problems trying to fit us into their programs. So yeah, basically what Fletcher said is true.
Well, here it's a bit different. I mean, a lot of radio stations do play it.
They do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Especially on the Fischer.
Is it true that depechemode.com webpage will rise at Needham?
Rise?
Yeah,
They want to rise.
How important is the internet for you?
Well, I think we sort of Fletcher answered that really. I think it is important. It's another way to let your fans know what you're doing and immediately. And there's nothing we can do. It's here. It's here, and you have to embrace it. And I think that's what people are doing.
I think as well, I mean, we're quite surprised to actually win the award because it's actually a good website. I think we've been guilty in the past of perhaps not giving enough time to it ourselves, which we've sort of put to right, I think, Jonathan, in the last 6 or 7 months. And of course it's very good for us because we are a band that's popular all over the world. And so it's all fans can communicate with each other everywhere. I think that's another good thing.
What can you say about your relationship to rock or K-rock radio in the United States? And would you play on an acoustic Christmas again, like 1998, 89?
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, our relationship is very good with K-Rock. It is one of the stations that actually have supported us from day one. And, they were playing our music in America way before anyone would even touch it. And in fact, I was there recently and on the show there. And they played the song, played Dream On, and made sure I took it away with me afterwards. But no, they've been really supportive.
During all the years you went through quite a lot of problems. Would you say you are totally recovered from that? And what's the secret of still sticking together later on?
We've been through some stuff together and individually as well, and in life you're always working on things. It's about changing and trying to sort of learn from the mistakes or things that you've gone through. And I think we do that individually, and I think we do that as a band when we're making music too. Sometimes out of places of where you never imagined you would go. You grow too.
You're in Hamburg since Sunday. Did you do some sightseeing or things like that? The Reeperbahn?
We saw a lot of hotel rooms and people like you.
You just had us entombed in this hotel.
Slave labour.
This is the first time we've actually been out of the hotel. It's been slave labour.
It's kind of like breaking rocks,
And I'm interested in cities where you're doing concerts, things like that.
Yeah, we are. We made a big effort on the last tour. Again, which we hadn't done on previous tours because we were mainly asleep most of the time. But we made an effort to actually go around and see the cities. And it was, 20 years of touring. Sometimes all you see really is hotels and the venue, and the club, the bar, or whatever. But we made a big effort on the last tour to actually Helsinki wasn't very good. We did a guide of that. That lasted about 5 minutes. Looking against Helsinki, of course.
Are you glad to come back on tour to Germany? And why are you especially here in Hamburg today and not in Munich or something else?
We don't like playing Munich.
No, but
we love Hamburg, SV. No, it's not.
Alright, I'll rescue you.
I'm only joking.
We're really looking forward to the tour, and we're keeping it as well to where there's a beginning and an end, and we learned that with the singles tour and tours before that there's a point where you get lost in there and you're just on like autopilot, and it's not a good thing, so. Keeping it fresh is like not overdoing it too much, but we are doing a few shows in Germany, and Germany's always been really good to us, and very supportive. Again, it's one of those places where we've had fans right from day one. So, you know, it seems appropriate to do this here.
Questions?
On the tour, you will also play some gigs in Kiev, or for example, or in Tallinn. Have you ever been there before?
We went to Tallinn last time, not Kiev.
And how exciting is it for you to perform there?
I think it's very interesting to play Warsaw for the first time in long. I mean, we were one of the few bands that actually toured Eastern Europe and before the Cold War ended and stuff, and that's one of the reasons we're very popular over there. And again, they're very interesting cities. And we always like going to new places.
We're playing quite a few new places this time. Yeah, last time we made it to Estonia and Latvia. We didn't make it to Lithuania. We're getting there this time. We're going to Turkey for the first time. We're going to Greece for the second time. We only played there once in 1985, and it was a festival with lots of other bands. That will be the first time we're actually playing our own concert there. So yeah, there are new places for us to get to still.
After so many years, is the tour still a challenge for you, or is it business as usual? What are you looking forward to?
Performing is always a challenge. You know, it's always a challenge, especially when you've got new songs as well. You know, you have a few minutes with each song to just sort of do what you want to do with it, and you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, it just is what it is, and I like that. I like that. It's just, you know, you're giving it what you can in that moment.
It's very different, I think, from the record as well. Live, I think our songs always take on a different dimension. Everything's very programmed in the studio. I mean, obviously there are some performances of the guitar and the vocals, but you know, we don't use live drummers generally. If we do, we'll go through on Pro Tools and put them dead in time generally. You know, but live, it's a very different feeling.
Eine Frage noch haben.
Do you already know who will support you on tour this time?
No, we haven't as yet decided, but there's a few bands that we would like to. There was, you know, for instance, when we first started, we'd like to. We all like the Goldfrapp record, but I don't think that's going to work for various reasons. But not yet. We haven't decided.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You managed to maintain the success in America and starting your tour now again in America. During these 20 years, many other British bands have failed to do so. How do you think you're succeeding in that?
Well, it's the same thing really. We were one of the few bands that when we started, out of the bands that we sort of started with, if you like, that constantly toured. We always, you know, we were playing gigs before we made any records, and we always did that. And I think, you know, America particularly is a place where you have to go and play, despite all odds. And in the first 10 years of us playing there, we were always up against a lot of journalists and people sort of not really understanding where or what it was or where we were coming from musically and stuff, and it seemed like it was a bit of a threat. And over the years that's really changed. So I don't know, we've just again slowly built up a following and, you know, constantly made records and made music, you know.
I think as well the great thing about Depeche Mode is, you know, got this, as people know, a huge fan base in America, particularly in Southern California. But they've also got huge fan bases in places like Warsaw, Moscow, Asia, and Africa even. And even India was selling quite a few records at the moment. So it's we are really an international, truly an international band. Don't ask me how we did it.
It's really strange as well. We've been to places, when we go to new places, you know, where we barely have a record company or something as well. There's fans, you know. We've been to new places before where we've played to like 5,000 people, and we barely have a sort of we had records out there even as well. It's, who knows?
Do you plan to go to South America?
Not at the moment, no.
I think the idea is that the tour we've got, you know, we don't want to make the mistake of which we did in Songs of Fake Devotion, of announcing a really, really long tour. We're enjoying ourselves at the moment. We want to continue to enjoy ourselves. You know, maybe at the end of this tour, you know, everyone might have had such a good time that maybe next year, you know, someone we might say we could do some shows somewhere else. We're not going to get ourselves into a position that we got ourselves into in the past.
There's currently a kind of synth-pop renaissance going on. How do you assess this development being considered symbols of this kind of music? Is it a major advantage or more a disadvantage considering new developments that you're planning to realize?
What sort of renaissance, sorry?
My view is that, you know, over 20 years it's been this trend, that trend, this trend, that trend, this trend, and you know, you have to just produce what you want to do yourself, you know. I mean, Martin particularly is interested in a lot of this new electronic music. I don't know if you describe it as synth pop. Yeah.
Slightly more oblique than that.
One more question?
It's the 15th one more question.
Mr. Gordon, you were on a concert with Britney Spears. You said it was very exciting. What was exciting?
I went there with my two daughters. we were in the second row, and you know, I found it quite interesting. Yeah, there were bits where it got a little bit silly for me, but in general, I would have to say I enjoyed it, maybe because I looked at it through my daughter's eyes.
On behalf of Depeche Mode, Youth Records, Jonathan Kessler, I would like to say thank you very much for attending this press conference and making it so lively, and we all look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you very much.
I think we'd like to give a big round of applause for Eric Leo Berg.
Okay, are you ready?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, come on. Hey. Please come close together.
This is as close as it gets.
Yeah, okay, just
After 20 years.
So you have some straight line in your face.
That's good, keep moving, good. There.
Can you move a little bit away from the spot in the middle?
Step back. Just step back in the middle.
Step back in the middle, please.
Yes.
That's it.
Are we ready?
Yes. A little bit closer.
A little bit closer. Thanks. Very nice. Good. Beautiful.
This guy's facing the wrong way. He's not ready.
Excuse me.
We got it, man. That's it.
He took a great shot at the security.
Hey, look to me, please. Everybody else here, please.
Any requests?
Okay, all of you on your heads now, okay?
One moment. In the middle, please.
Strike a pose.
We're not the end of that.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, good.
Good to go. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
There. Thank you. Thank you.
Upstairs this way?
We haven't actually seen the finished result yet because he does a lot of stuff in post-production. But the shooting went well and he was very pleased with it. But he didn't even want to show us stuff until it's finished because we won't get the right effect from it.
It's a very mysterious kind of video as well.
You've seen it.
We can see it.
That's so cool. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's sorry, it's you know, when he first heard the song, He didn't have any lyrics or anything like that, and so again he just picked up on the feeling and what it made him feel like, and so there's kind of a lot of driving around in his car, and you know it is like when you're driving around and you're having lots of, for me anyway, when I drive around, lots of thoughts come, and quite often you're driving for a long time and then you suddenly remember that you're driving and you're supposed to be looking at the road, you know, and your imagination goes off, and so it's kind of like, it's about that.
There were a lot of individual couch parties. What are you thinking?
We'd like to, we would like the Golf Rap record, but I don't think that's going to work for various reasons, but not yet, we haven't decided.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You managed to maintain your success in America, and you're starting your tour now again in America. During these 20 years, many other British bands have failed to do so. How do you think you've succeeded in that?
Well, it's the same thing, really. We're one of the few bands, despite all odds, in the first 10 years of us playing there, we were always up against a lot of journalists and people sort of not really understanding where or what it was or where we were coming from musically and stuff, and it seemed like it was a bit of a threat, and over the years that's really changed. So I don't know, we've just again slowly built up a following, and you know, constantly made records and made music. You know, there's fans. You know, we've been to new places before where we've played to like 5,000 people, and we barely have a sort of not at the moment, no.
I think the idea is that the tour we've got, you know, we don't want to make a mistake of which we did.
Ich würde sagen, Jonathan, we can't get through that. Wir können es versuchen.
Folge? Kannst du mir gefallen? Sehr gerne. Ja, sehr lieb. Sehr nett. Möchtest du Licht?
Okay, we go.
Okay.
Excuse us. If we can just squeeze through here.
Entschuldigung, will nicht unhöflich sein. Geh die Security mit, bitte. Okay, Jonathan, you and the security. Jonathan.
Come on, MLK, come on, Anna. Come on.
Jonathan, please.
Ja, ich weiß.
Du musst noch mitgehen.
Zu früh. Was? War zu früh, aber vielleicht auch nicht. Wurden gleich am Fahrstuhl abgepackt.
Deshalb haben wir dann das gemacht mit Sonntag und Montag.
Ja.
Überraschende News haben sie nicht erzählt. Welttour, ne? Ja gut, das ist alles schon bekannt. Also zumindest wenn man ein bisschen Internet oder so schaut. Und über den Promo-Scheiß verteilt haben sie wahrscheinlich nicht gemacht.
Und eine Mappe.
Da kann ich auch viel leider ein Taxi zum Bahnhof. Das ist Metropolitan zurück oder? Nee, ich bin auch gar nicht mehr Metropolitan gekommen. Das war so Missverständnis. Ich glaube, man versteht gar nicht, ob es gut ist.
Erzähl mal, warum stehst du hier und wie findest du die Depeche Mode?
Also ich bin hier, weil Depeche Mode ist in Hamburg und hier in Deutschland dann zum ersten Mal seit Ewigkeiten und ich habe sie live auch erst einmal gesehen auf einem Konzert in Berlin und ja, es ist einfach unglaublich, weil hier in Hamburg ist so völlig groß, dass die hierher gekommen sind, ausgerechnet, um diese ganze Geschichte zu machen und um die halt hier mal wirklich live zu sehen.
Klasse. Also sag mal, warum bist du hier?
Also ich bin seit 15 Jahren Depeche Mode-Fan und freue mich unheimlich, dass sie endlich nach Hamburg gekommen sind und eventuell mal live zu sehen in Hamburg auf der Trabrennbahn und mal gucken. Vielleicht wird es ja das geilste Konzert des Jahres dieses Jahr.
Kannst du mal sagen, warum du hier bist und was die Depeche Mode für dich bedeutet?
Was die Depeche Mode für mich bedeutet? Naja, das ist so meine Jugend, meine Gegenwart, meine Zukunft. Warum ich hier bin? Ja, ich wusste, dass sie hier sind und das ist ein guter Grund, Urlaub zu nehmen.
Klasse. Du bist dann mein Punkt. Und dann umschlagen, dass man das Bild sieht.
Welches Bild? Das hier?
Ja, genau.
So, das macht 200 Mark.
Ja. Hast du gerade eben gesagt, warum bist du hier?
Ja, wir sind jetzt hier seit 2 Tagen, um ganz unseren Urlaub hier zu planen. Ne? Deswegen stehen wir hier.
Und warum euren Urlaub planen?
Ja, um dann komplett die ganze Tour hier mitzufahren, wenn es geht. Ne?
Also ihr fahrt einmal hinterher.
Komplett.
Ja. Und das bitte nochmal zusammenhängen ohne Zwischenfrage. Komm, wir sind hier, weil wir unseren Urlaub planen, weil wir jetzt wollen.
Hast genau den richtigen gefunden.
Das waren 400 Mark. Okay.
So, also, wir sind seit 2 Tagen eben hier, warten nur darauf, dass wir hier die Konzertdaten hier bekommen, um unseren Urlaub hier zu planen, um komplett die ganze Tour mitzufahren.
Okay, super.